Hello everybody, how you all doing? Hope you're all alright. Welcome back to Blu-Roy Movies. It's a Sunday. Could only be one thing. It's time for the weekly watches. But before we get in with it, just a little bit of admin. I'd just like to say a huge thank you to everybody who's been getting involved in these weekly watches videos over the past few weeks. Really pleased with how they've taken off and the reaction they receive. Now, they're the videos I like making the most over the course of the week. I know everybody likes pick-up videos and they do garner the most views, but the weekly watches is what I like doing and just what I enjoy doing, and I hope that comes through when I'm making the actual videos themselves. And the reaction I've had, it's starting to snowball a bit. Like lots of people getting involved, lots of people giving me their thoughts, which is absolutely great. It's brilliant, makes it really well worth doing, and just a joy to sit here in front of the camera and talk some rubbish for a while. Yeah, I really enjoy doing it. It sad as my life might be, it might be the highlight of my week, sitting here alone in the room because the cat's cleared off while I'm making a video by myself and just talking nonsense for a while. I think that's what makes the world go round. But anyway, yeah, let's get on with the video, shall we? Watched 9 titles. I think it seems to be about 9 a week, over one a day, which I know is quite bad, but there you go. It's what I like doing. So grab a drink, as Sammy would say, and let's go. Right, we kicked off this fine week with The Northman from 2022, directed by Robert Eggers, starring Alexander Skarsgård, Nicole Kidman, Ethan Hawke, Willem Dafoe, Anya Taylor-Joy, Claes Bang, and Phil Double L Martin, who's actually got a Blu-ray and 4K channel, a bit like the rest of us. Yeah, so I did try and spot him, but he proved to be as elusive as Shergar, but I believe he's in there somewhere. Maybe if he happens to come across this video, point out to me which one you were. Northman, yeah, funny film. Now, I watched it originally the other day, and I liked it, I enjoyed it. I thought it was average, but having said that, it kept coming back to my thoughts for quite a lot of the week. Like I'd be sat there and my thoughts would come back to the Northman. So it's gone up in my appreciation slowly over the week. And in fact, I changed my letterbox rating from 3 to 4. So I actually like this film, I think. I just didn't realise at first. Yeah, what's it about? It's all about this boy and his dad is the Viking king. And in front of the boy's eyes, the dad's played by Ethan Hawke and his wife, Nicole Kidman. And in front of the little boy, he's murdered by the boy's uncle, yeah, the dad's brother. And the wife, Nicole Kidman, taken sort of hostage. The little boy, he manages to escape and go overseas. And it's all about him growing up. Then he then becomes Alexander Skarsgård's character as a grown-up, great big hunk of a guy like you wouldn't want to tackle with him. And it's essentially a revenge movie. He becomes a slave and infiltrates the uncle's. Like he's now been usurped as the king himself, and he's now just like a lord of the manor type character. So he poses as a slave and gets sort of like close to the family, and it's all about him taking their revenge. Yeah, I actually did really enjoy it. Yeah, weird as I say that, I thought at first it was just okay, but it kept coming back to me, and I actually want to rewatch it again pretty soon. Very, very hyper violent. Yeah, quite graphic, the violence. It's surprised it's only a 15 because it was quite violent. Then he forms this relationship with Anya Taylor-Joy. Yeah, good film. Robert Eggers, fast becoming a favourite director of mine now. How I'd rank his 4 films, I do like them all, but I'd go Nosferatu, The Lighthouse, this, then The Witch. I think The Witch is superb. I do like The Witch. Yeah, I need to rewatch that again soon. Yeah, The Northman. Let me know what you guys think. Did you get on with this? And was you a bit like me, where you thought it was all right, then it's grown on you? Yeah, good film, and 4K looks really, really nice too. Next up, we have got Ordinary Decent Criminal from the year 2000, where we all partied like it was 2000. God, they were good times, weren't they? This is directed by Thaddeus O'Sullivan. What sort of name's that? Kevin Spacey stars with Peter Mullen, Patrick Malahide, who is Chisholm from my favourite programme, Minder, and he's actually just playing Chisholm again in this film, but an Irish Chisholm. We've got Linda Fiorentino, we've got Stephen Delane, we've got Christoph Waltz, we've got Colin Farrell, a very young Colin Farrell. We've got Helen Baxendale. I love Helen Baxendale. I think she's great. Actually, after watching this, I've started watching Cold Feet again. I think Cold Feet's fantastic. Yeah, Ordinary Decent Criminal, which I've had trouble saying that for some reason. Yeah, Tim recommended this one from Tim's Film Office, and thanks, Tim, because I really, really enjoyed it. It's an Irish gangster film. Kevin Spacey, he plays this Irish gangster who is the head of this little gang, and he's always one step in front of the police, and they keep pulling off like more and more daring raids, and the police know that it's these guys that are doing it, but can't get the proof on them, can't catch them in the act, and it becomes a real cat and mouse, the police trying to catch them. Yeah, just great stuff. I don't know about the Irish accents. They sounded all right to me, but if you're Irish yourself, maybe not. But Spacey, being an Irishman, yeah, was pretty weird. Yeah, good stuff. He's got two wives on the go, two sisters played by Fiorentino and Baxendale. Yeah, quite a lucky guy. Yeah, just highly enjoyable DVD. Don't know whether it's got a Blu-ray release. I don't think so, but it definitely would. I would upgrade if it was. Yeah, I can highly recommend. Yeah, Ordinary Decent Criminal. Good recommendation. Yeah, thanks, Tim, for that. And up next, we've got A Gunfight from 1971, directed by Lamont Jackson, starring Johnny Cash, who've never seen him in an acting role before, Kirk Douglas, Jane Alexander, and Karen Black. This is the beauty of going in charity shops, looking, see what they've got for me. 50 pence. Never heard of this film before, didn't know it existed. But you know, I really liked it. It was a pretty good Western, not up there on the level of the top tier Westerns, but one I certainly enjoyed. Very low budget, I think, but that didn't really detract. This is all about Kirk Douglas. He's this former gunfight that lives in this town, and everybody knows of him, of his past, and they sort of hold him in high regard as this mythical creature, if you like, this famed gunfighter who'll shoot you down at a split of a hair. Then in comes to town Johnny Cash, who had his horse bitten by a snake. His horse dies sadly, and he has to stay in this town as well. And Johnny Cash is also a former gunfighter, held in the same sort of esteem as Douglas's character. The two guys meet, and despite them actually getting on pretty well and befriending each other, the whole town's a frenzy that these two mean gunfighters are in town, and that they're going to have a fight, and which one will win. Like, half the town think that Douglas's character's going to win, half the town think that Johnny Cash's character's going to win this fight that they're not even playing on, because they actually quite like each other. Anyway, they've both got money problems. Douglas wants to set off with his wife, played by Jane Alexander, and his son, and start a new life somewhere, get like maybe a bit of a freehold and get a few cattle, that sort of thing. whilst Johnny Cash wants to raise some money for a new horse and so he can carry on because he was only stopping through. So the two get talking and discuss each other's monetary problems, and they decide to hold a gunfight to the death and charge money for the tickets, and winner takes all, which they hold in this big like bullfighting arena, because there's also just not far from the Mexican border, so they can nip over to Mexico and hold it in this bullfighter arena. And there's this famous bullfighter who also lives in the town. Yeah, that premises floats your boat like it did with me. Give it a watch because it's quite fun. It doesn't take itself too seriously, but it's just a good little western and worth sticking around to see which of the two wins. Yeah, really enjoyed it. Well acted, as you'd expect from Douglas and Johnny Cash. Like I say, not seen him act before, but he did a good job. Apparently he's been in episodes of Columbo and stuff like that, but I've never watched Columbo in my life, to be honest. Yeah, good stuff. Quite enjoyed that. A Gunfight. And I followed that up with A Streetcar Named Desire from 1951, directed by the great Elia Kazan, starring Vivian Leigh, Marlon Brando, Kim Hunter and Carl Malden. I like Carl Malden. He's one of these actors that you'll recognise his face and you'll go through his filmography and be surprised how many films you've seen him in. Yeah, Streetcar Named Desire. Ellery at Ellery's film discussion, he was talking about this the other day, saying how much he enjoyed it, and to my shame, I'd never seen it. A big Brando fan, like a lot of people, big Elia Kazan fan. Everything I've seen of his has been really, really good. So I thought I must rectify that immediately. And yeah, it was a great film. Ellery enjoyed it too, and fantastic, fantastic stuff. It's about this girl, Vivian Leigh. She arrives to live with her sister, played by Kim Hunter, and her boyfriend, her husband, played by the abusive Marlon Brando, who's quite a despicable character. Hard drinking, always playing poker with his mates, no time for the nonsense that is Vivian Leigh's character's going to stow upon him when she arrives. Yeah, it's called A Streetcar Named Desire because that's the name of like the tram that led to the house that she's going to stay in. And Vivian Leigh's character, she's got sort of a checkered background. She's managed to lose the family house. She's been living in some rough places with some rough people, and Brando, he sees right through her. She puts on all these airs and graces, and Brando, because he's married to her sister, he's concerned that she's sold the house and she's holding back on sharing the money with her sister. Yeah, he's out for himself. He's just trying to find the money for his next drink and his next card game with his cronies. Yeah, quite a despicable character, but so well acted. The pair of them, like, I couldn't split who was the best between Brando and Vivian Leigh. And I haven't seen much Vivian Leigh, so maybe I should go through. And what, obviously the big one she was in, I've seen that, but don't think I've seen anything else. It was a stage play, and you can see that because it's mainly all set in just this apartment where everything seems to kick off, and then she tries to form this relationship with Carl Malden's character, but then he discovers things about her past that he's not happy in. That all breaks apart, and that leads to more angst and anguish, and just fantastic acting between all four of them. Yeah, really like electric when they all get going at each other. Yeah, really, really good stuff. So I'm really glad that Ellery put that on to me. If, like me, you've slept on it, give it a watch because it's pretty darn good. And next up was a rewatch of RocknRolla from 2008, directed by Guy Ritchie, starring Gerard Butler, Mark Strong, Tom Wilkinson, Idris Elba, Tandy Newton, Tom Hardy. Great cast, great film. Now, I watched Marching Powder last week, and if that was how not to make a British crime film, this is how to make one. I love RocknRolla. For me, right up there with Snatch, Lock, Stock and Two, Smoking Barrels from Ritchie. In fact, I might even put this as my favourite. The more I watch it, the more I appreciate it. Ritchie's a master of these films. It's a busy plot. There's a lot going on, but you're never confused, and it all comes together. It all centres around Tom Wilkinson's character. He's a gangster, and he, under the probably misapprehension that London is his town. A quote to this that I used in my video a couple of weeks ago and has got me wanting to watch it since. There's no school like the old school, and I'm the effing headmaster, he says. And yeah, I did use that. I love that quote. It's so quotable all the way through. When this Russian oligarch comes into town, who is based, I'm sure he's based on Roman Abramovich, because he looks just like him. Takes apart, there's Wembley's in there, he even has his sweater around his shoulders like Abramovich used to, and Tom Wilkinson starts doing this business deals with him that start to go wrong because the money that's supposed to be changing hands gets knocked off by Gerard Butler and his gang. The Russian lends Tom Wilkinson his favourite painting, his lucky painting, which goes missing from Tom Wilkinson's junkie rock star son, nicks it, so everybody's searching for this painting. Like I say, there's so much going on, but it's, as Hills would say, it's super fun. I just love this film. Again, I could just watch it over and over again, even though I watched it last week. I could watch it again now. Tandy Newton plays this like a money person for the underworld, where she'll provide money interest free, like from banks and that, and she looks absolutely stunning with it, and she forms this relation with Gerard Butler as she looks upon as her bit of rough. There's these couple of mad gangsters that just can't get killed, chasing down Gerard Butler, and Tom Hardy, who plays a gay gangster that everybody in this little gang knows he's gay, but apart from Gerard Butler, who he fancies Gerard Butler as well, but they think they're just mates. And you've got Hans from Super Hans from Peep Show, who just plays Super Hans again, but as a gangster. Great film. It's been a solid week, actually. I'd like to say it's the highlight of the week, but I'm not sure. I don't think I've watched anything I've disliked this week, but this certainly challenging from near the top end. Yeah, if you haven't watched RocknRolla, if you've only sort of like watched Snatch and Lock, Stock, get this one watched. I haven't watched Revolver, actually. I need to watch that one. So is that one as good as the others? If you've seen it, let me know down below. Yeah, RocknRolla, I love this film. Then another rewatch, Passengers from 2016, directed by Morton Tilden, starring Jennifer Lawrence, Chris Pratt, Martin Sheen, Lawrence Fishburne. And yeah, I quite like this one. I think it's a bit hit and miss with people, but I quite dig it. It's all about Chris Pratt. He's on this voyage from Earth to this another planet where they're going to set up a new life that takes 100 years or so to get to. So there's 5,000 passengers on this ship seeking out a new life on this planet, and I think about 200 and something crew. So they're all in hypersleep when there's a collision with a meteorite or something that causes Chris Pratt's sleeping compartment, I'm not sure what the technical term on him, his malfunctions and he awakes. Then he discovers like he's the only one awake on this ship, and he's going to take another 90 years to get to the planet that they're aiming for. So he's pretty much going to live and die alone on this ship, all apart from the company of an android barman played by Martin Sheen. So as you can imagine, this doesn't bode well for Pratt's mental health. He managed to live a year by himself, but he finds himself slipping more and more into despair as he's having to live by himself with no human contact other than this android. He sees in one of the sleeping chambers Jennifer Aniston and pretty much falls in love with her because she's obviously this beautiful woman, and he's toying for ages whether to wake her up or not, so he's got a bit of company. He's basically, if he wakes her up, he's going to put her to a death sentence, really, because she's going to die on this ship without ever reaching her destination. In the end, temptation gets too much and he wakes her up but doesn't tell her, so he makes believe that her chamber's gone wrong as well. So they're friends and they fall in love. And then Lawrence's character, she finds out that Pratt's has woken her up, which obviously doesn't go down too well. Then somebody else wakes up and you realise that the ship's basically been damaged by the hit and it's critical, and unless they do something about it, it's going to be destroyed. So, yeah, really good film. I think it gets mixed receptions, like I say, but I quite enjoy it. I think it would have been better myself if the film had been done through Jennifer Lawrence's point of view. So we learnt with her that Chris Pratt had woken her up and we weren't aware of that at the start of the film. Yeah, I think that would have worked better. I certainly wouldn't want to be on this ship, like when they all wake up, there's like 5,000 passengers and just one android barman. Imagine how crazy that would be to try and get a pint. Yeah, good stuff. I enjoyed it. Passengers. So after a couple of rewatches, a first time watch, No Way Out, 1950, directed by Joseph L. Mankiewicz. Wasn't there a film about him? Was it called Mank? I never saw it. Was that any good? If so, should I watch it? Yeah, this stars Richard Widmark, Sidney Poitier, Linda Darnell. She's beautiful, that Linda Darnell. Stephen McNally. He's another actor like Carl Malden. You see his face and look at his IMDb filmography and you realise how many films you've seen of his. Really good film this was. The Masters of Cinema collection never fails to deliver, and this is no exception. This is all about Sidney Poitier's character. He's this black doctor where in a time where it was unusual to have black doctors, and it's his first night as being fully qualified on the job, and he gets on his first night to work in the prison ward of a hospital where they bring all the prisoners if they need treating. I didn't know they had them in hospitals, but maybe in America in the day they did. On his first night there, there's been a shooting. These two brothers, really despicable characters, so local hoodlums who come from the rough area of town. They've both got gunshot wounds in the legs. One's Richard Widmark and the other, I'm not sure who played him. He was only in it for a little while. But anyway, one of the brothers, though being shot in the leg, Poitier realised there's actually something else wrong with him, and despite only being shot in the leg, I say only, it must hurt a bit, he's got other health conditions, and if he doesn't act quickly, the brother's going to die. So he gives him a spine injection, something like that anyway. And in the midst of this, the brother dies. Then Richard Widmark's character, the gangster brother who survived, he accuses Poitier of murdering him and threatens to sue him and get his own back, and that, although Poitier was doing his best to save him. Yeah, really good racial tension film, Midmark's character is absolutely despicable. Says 1950 and is every racial slur in the book is thrown at Poitier's character, who handles it with such calmness and aplomb, as it's all about him trying to clear his name, because the only way he can get his name clear is by having an autopsy. But Widmark's character and the rest of the family, they refuse point blank because they've got to have their permission to have it. Then you've got Linda Darnell, who you think, because she used to be married to the brother who died, you think that she's going to help out, but she turns out to be just as horrible character as Widmark. Yeah, really, really good. If you like your racial dramas, that sort of film, if you like them sort of films, give this a watch, because it's absolutely wonderful. So really well acted, thoroughly enjoyed it. I think this is quite out of print now, so you might have to find alternative methods of watching it. It's probably £25 to £30. I was looking on eBay to grab this one now, but yeah, if you can get a copy from somewhere or stream a copy or whatever, it's a fantastic film. No Way Out. I just love that Masters Cinema collection. It just justifies to me why I've got them all down. I've got a lot still to watch, but every time I watch a new one, it just brilliant filmmaking. Right, anyway, up next, we have Death Race 2000 from 1975, directed by Paul Bartel, starring David Carradine, Sylvester Stallone, Simone Griffith. Hadn't seen this before, just picked it up in the recent sale. I've been wanting to watch it for ages, and it's crazy. It's crazy fun. Really, really enjoyed it. Not a bit like the modern day remakes. These guys are all taking part. There's about 6 of them. It's like if you've seen the cartoon, you might have to be my ilk and age. Wacky Races. It reminded me of a live action version of Wacky Races, which is a good thing indeed. Yeah, Death Race 2000. Every year in this future, obviously it's filmed in 75, so it's set in the year 2000. They have this death race where all these characters, these guys come together with their co-pilots, a race across America, and you get points for finishing first, but you get bonus points for running over and killing people. The more the more elderly the people are, you get bonus points. You get bonus points for babies, bonus points for disabled people. Yeah, really, really bizarre. I can see why it's become a cult film, because it's so much fun. Sylvester Stallone is more or less a side character, really, as he goes up against the main character played by David Carradine, who plays Frankenstein, this mythical driver who has supposedly lost all his body parts just about in these races, is scarred to death, but when he takes his mask off, there's actually nothing wrong with his face, and he's got all his appendages. That's what the media have portrayed this guy to be. Just brilliant fun. Very gnarly, some very actually ineffective looking blood. Didn't look much blood at all. Lots of boobs, lots of bums, lots of fun. Yeah, if like me you've slept on it, give it a watch, because it's pretty darn fun. And we finished off the week with Hanna, another rewatch. Been quite a week of rewatches, a few rewatches this week. From 2011, directed by Joe Wright, starring Saoirse Ronan, Kate Blanchett, Eric Bana, Jason Fleming, Olivia Williams. Yeah, I'd like this film a lot. It went on to be made into a TV series as well, which I haven't actually seen. So if you've seen the TV series, it's worth watching. Let me know. This is all about Hanna, played by Saoirse Ronan, and she's been brought up in the Arctic Circle by her dad, Eric Bana. They live remotely, and he's been teaching her how to kill for her food. how to fight, how to look after herself, how to shoot, all that good stuff you need growing up as a teenager. And it transpires that Hanna, she's had this past where she was born into this program of making super soldiers, so all her genes have been enhanced to make her stronger and faster and more accurate shooting, brilliant at fighting, all that sort of stuff. She managed to escape with Eric Banner when she was a little girl, as the program was being closed down and all these kids in this program were destroyed, but these two managed to get out. Then Kate Blanchett, she was like the head of this organisation, she finds out where Hanna is and they send a team out to finally destroy her. Yeah, good film. It's all about them trying to stay ahead of this secret government organisation that are trying to destroy her and cover up any existence that ever was, that this program ever happened in the first place. Yeah, like I say, great action adventure that I thoroughly enjoy. I think I've seen about 3 times now, and each time I've really enjoyed it. Yeah, good stuff. So that was it for the week. Let me know which of them you like, which you don't like. Maybe some that are maybe piqued your interest in and you'd like to like. Give us a thumbs up. Apparently it helps the channel. Maybe subscribe if you want to hear more of this waffle next week. Subscriptions are creeping up nicely, getting towards a nice figure, which I thoroughly appreciate. Everybody who gets involved, watched, likes the videos, all that. So I'll see you in the week. I've had 3 parcels in the last week, so we'll do a video on that in the week. I'll highlight what I've been shown. Catch you all later. You'll be good. Ta-ra.